the Sarah Jane Adventures, when it was on, was probably one of, if not the biggest show that was on CBBC at the time. So it ended too early for obviously reasons out of their control. Elizabeth Sladen sadly died halfway through filming series 5, and I actually thought series 5 was going to be the best of the series so far because they got halfway through, and obviously we got to see those 3 episodes, was it? And I actually thought they were really good. I think if it would have finished, then that series would have been the best. And Elizabeth Sladen's just so good as Sarah Jane. There's no fault in her at all. And the supporting cast, I think, are the reason why it carried on for so long as well, and why it actually got up to its fifth series. Like Luke, Maria, Ronnie, and Clyde, and Luke especially, as being obviously Sarah Jane's adopted son, was really a good character. You could relate to him like as a kid watching it. And if it didn't end before its time, it would have been revealed that Luke was actually gonna come out as gay. Luke was gonna be gay, and I think that is so important. And I'm so sad we never got to see that. So Russell T Davies basically confirmed that Luke was going to have a boyfriend on the audio commentary to Death of a Doctor on the DVD of that series of Sarah Jane, and he basically said while there was a scene, and I think it was where Luke's going to uni, or that was part of the scene, and he says if the show were to have continued, it would have been revealed that Luke was going to have a boyfriend while off at uni, and I think that's really important, especially for a main character. I mean, on a kids show as well, to have a main character that has a boyfriend that is gay. I think it's really important. And what's really interesting is that CBBC actually wanted this as well. Like, I know Russell T Davies had this in mind for a while as well, I think, but the fact CBBC actually went up to him and asked them if to put a gay character in the show. Like, they went up to him and said, we want a normal gay character on CBBC. And I think that's such an important quote, that a normal gay character, it's just a normal person who happens to have a boyfriend, and that's the best way they could have played it out. And so they go on to say, and then they're talking to Russell and say, so can you do that with Sarah Jane? And obviously Russell said yes, and he was going to do it with Luke. So he was going to actually go up to Tommy Knight, who played Luke, and obviously explain it to him and say, yeah, so he's going to have a boyfriend while he's off at uni, he's going to be gay. Would you be okay with this? And I'm almost certain Tommy would have been completely fine with it. But so that's one of the most interesting things about this to me, the fact that CBBC wanted this to be in the show as well, which I think is brilliant, because it's so important to let kids know from an early age that all of this is okay. Like, even if they're not having feelings at that age, when they're growing up and they're starting to, question things and think what their sexuality is and everything like that, for them to already have had this message in a show that they loved as a kid, that it's okay to have these feelings, then it's going to help them later on in life when they're coming to terms with everything. Russell actually took out, there was a line in an episode where it was actually going to be revealed that Luke was, well, hinted at that Luke was gay. It was before he goes off to uni, and he took it out, which I think's really, really sad, but he took it out, and it's when he's going off to uni, and Sarah Jane basically says to Luke that, oh, you're going off to uni, or you might even get a girlfriend, and then Luke says back to her, or a boyfriend, and then Sarah Jane says in just typical Sarah Jane fashion, well, as long as it's not an alien, I don't mind. And that's such a brilliant line. I'm really sad that it got taken out of the episode, because I think it's brilliant. And to have that in, and then for it to be revealed that he had the boyfriend, perfect. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And like I say, like, Luke was a different character to begin with. Like, he was different. He was created by the Bane. He wasn't like quote unquote normal. He wasn't normal human being. So to have this character that kids who don't necessarily think themselves as normal, who think they're different, to have them already relate to this character already who's different, and then to him to be gay is just, it adds it. And I think Luke's the perfect character to do it for, like, for those reasons as well, because he's already different and kids are already relating to him. So sad the show got took off air, obviously too soon because of Elizabeth Sladen's death, which is so sad. And the fact this never happened, like, it's such a tragedy, really, because of all the points that I've just mentioned. It would have helped kids come to terms with it, with Luke, and it's so disappointing that it never happened, because it really is brilliant. And like it started off with, just the fact CBBC wanted this to happen, like everyone was on board for this. So it's such a shame. It's such a shame that this never actually got to be in the show, because, like I said before, it's just really important to get this across to kids at a young age that this is normal and there's nothing to worry about if they're feeling these things. So the basic inspiration for just doing this video was because over on Epic Who, it's actually Who Pride Month. So they're celebrating everything LGBT in the Doctor Who community, from the show itself and the characters to the fans and everything like that. So I'm sure they're going to have lots of great content coming up this month. So go check them out if you obviously haven't, because, like I say, it's just a really important topic that needs to be talked about, and what better way to do it than through Doctor Who and things like that. So go check them out, and like I say, they're gonna have loads of good videos coming up this month, and that's why I've done this one. Anyway, that's all from me. See you next time.